Welcome to a report commentary with the CEO of Enlabs, George Ustinov. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Q2 has been a very challenging quarter, yet your title for the Q2 report was Steadily Navigating Through the Storm. And in this quarter, your revenues totaled to 6.1 million euros and the EBITDA was 0.45, which is in line with what you guided in July. Now, maybe the most drastic effect of the pandemic, in your point of view, was the Latvian parliament that suspended all gaming licenses in the country for 2 months between April and June. What I wanted to ask you is, when they reopened, so they reopened in June, in the beginning of June, what level of activity did you see?
We immediately, on the week after we reopened, we saw all-time record levels in terms of customer activity, in terms of bets, and also in terms of revenues. So we were very positively surprised how Latvian market bounced back and how loyal our customers actually are.
So the people of Latvia were starved of gaming and were so delighted to come back. Has that level continued now?
Yes, it has continued. So honestly, it feels as if we never had this business interruption. Yeah. So initially we thought that we'll need to be building up to return to the level of the first quarter. And actually that level returned on the first week after reopening. Yeah. And there's a funny fact. We have also a few retail shops and our customers came with flowers to the cashiers and said how happy they are to see them back. So that's kind of a wonderful testament actually of our great customers and of the service which we provide to them.
That is a really good thing, getting flowers. Now, shortly after the Latvian parliament suspended the gaming licenses, you responded by pushing back your financial targets. You pushed them back an entire year. Looking back at all that, was it necessary to push it back that long, or what do you see?
I mean, at that moment, it seemed like a very logical step. Yeah. Now, when I look forward to year 2021, I do have very high confidence that we'll achieve these targets and potentially even exceed them. Yeah. So I would say that that was a necessary measure with lots of unknowns. But so far, I mean, I'm optimistic about the next year and these targets.
So this market is really moving. Let's talk a bit about the consolidation in the market. You acquired a big stake in global gaming. You now own about 30%. I think it's 29.9 something. What was attractive about global gaming and what's your plans for it?
Basically, first thing which comes into mind about global gaming is the great brand behind it, which is Ninja Casino. Definitely pioneers of pay and play technology, a very internationally successful brand, which can be used up in all possible markets in reality, both regulated and unregulated. We like the team behind it. We like the market focus which they have now with Finland and Estonia, two markets where we intersect actually with global gaming. And in general, we see that we can bring quite a lot of synergies to the table. We have an open discussion with the senior management and we are currently evaluating our next steps.
So what timeline do you see these synergies merging?
It very much depends on the next steps. Yeah. So currently I'm not in a position to comment further on this matter, but we are putting in quite a lot of work to figure this out.
So what about the market is still consolidating. So what about further acquisitions? Do you have the means? Do you have the motivation? What's your plans?
We certainly have the means and the motivation, but we also want to do it step by step. Yeah. For us, when we talk about global gaming, that's a big company. Yeah. So we need to understand first how we proceed with that, and only then we'll take on something equally substantial.
So let's talk a bit about the home market, Latvia, the plans for the Limes brand. Walk me through it.
Wonderful that you mentioned Limes brand. This is something we're very happy and proud about. During the investor presentation, I gave a few highlights of the KPIs with Limes. Just to repeat here, Limes basically is the first, brings the first online bingo to the Latvian market, and you know, all the brand is structured around a very local approach with the word Limes meaning happiness and to win in Latvian. and also the lime's fruit, and lime's fruits are painted like bingo balls. So it kind of all ties very well together. And it's also packaged in a very much gender neutral way. Yeah, so our aim with that was to attract both male and female customers. And after 1 month of full results, we see exactly that the customer gender split is 50-50. 75% of revenues are coming from mobile, and the acquisition numbers are 10 times basically better than we had with our previous successful launch of Optibet in Lithuania. And also Limes is profitable from day one. It's a profitable growth. We know how to sell it in Latvia, and so far it's been performing better than we expected. And going forward, definitely Limes will be one of our key growth drivers. And besides Latvia, this brand has an equally kind of local appeal in the Lithuanian market as well.
So what about the long-term market share for Limes? Where do you see it ending up?
I would say that with Limes, our market share is, so we have Optibet brand in Latvia and Limes brand. And we believe that jointly these two brands can help us maintain our 50% market share in Latvia. Yeah, if we can exceed that, perfect, but that's the minimal target for us.
Maintaining the 50% market share, you say, what pace is the Latvian market growing in?
Latvian market in itself is growing because of two reasons. Yeah, one is the conversion from retail to online, which is especially felt during the COVID times. And secondly, it's a conversion from unlicensed market towards the licensed market, because regulator obviously is interested to protect the local licenses and ensure a more sustainable and safe gambling environment for the customers.
You mentioned licenses. Let's move abroad. Let's look at Belarus. It's a country which has been severed by political turbulence as of late. Where do you see, you're waiting for a license to get approved there. What's the status update?
Yes, so we were in the process of submitting the document package to the regulator, and also the Belarusian online license requires quite substantial tech development, aligning it for local needs, integrating it with the local regulator system. So we were in the process, of developing all that. Until now, the political kind of turbulence really slowed us down because we can't travel now comfortably to that country. Firstly, because of COVID, secondly, now because of the many riots. So we decided to reprioritize internally and focus currently on improving products in Sweden and then take on the Belarusian project in early 2021. Yeah, so in our opinion, that's now quite logical. And if we continue on the Belarus subject, there are currently 3 online licenses on the market. So that proves that it's possible to obtain a license, which is a very good indication. And we see that all 3 competitors who are there are heavily focused on sportsbook. So for us, it's also another indication that we should go into that market with a casino first approach.
So let's leave Belarus. Let's look at another continent. Let's look at Latin America. I know that you launched Optibet there, kind of a soft launch maybe. How has it been received, and what's the plans if it's a success?
You said very well that it was a soft launch, a very prudent rollout of the brand. We did it simultaneously in 2 countries, Peru and Chile, to cover kind of the big part of the population. So far, we are happy with the results, yeah. But we must understand that these are only like first registrations, first customers we are getting there. We are still localizing the product. We are still figuring out the correct media channels. We are still figuring out how to improve conversion. So basically, the first step is taken, which is a big milestone. Yeah, the product is ready, and now we must, step by step learn. And our ambition is definitely to grow and also try to grow as profitably as possible. Yeah, it will require initial investment, but we want to have sustainable, slow and profitable growth in that market.
George, lastly, before I leave you to it, which will be the most important new markets for Enlabs in the coming year?
I would say that it is Belarus and Ukraine. Yeah, Ukraine recently legalized gambling in the country, both retail and online. It's a close market to us. It's a mentality we understand. We speak a common language. So we are very excited about our prospects in Ukraine.
Thank you so much for taking the time, George.
Thank you so much.